So for this activity, you're just going to be filling in this chart based on the information that's given to you, figuring out the rest of it. So before we do that, I'm just going to go across the top here and talk a little bit about each one of these things. They can all be found in your notes from last week, but we'll kind of make a little sheet to help you out here. So name of atom, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Number of protons is the same as the atomic number, okay? So if you have one, then you have the other. It's also going to be the same as the number of electrons, so all three of these columns are going to be identical all the way down. Now, if you don't have any of them, you can use either the name to figure out the atomic number, or if you have the mass number and the number of neutrons, you can subtract them. So mass number minus number of neutrons is also how you find the number of protons. You can also find the number of neutrons using the same little formula. So if we have the mass number and we subtract the number of protons, we get the number of neutrons. Electrons you will find as soon as you find protons because they are the same. Mass number is protons plus neutrons. Atomic mass is the decimal number on the periodic table. Atomic number is the whole number. And then standard notation and isotope notation are the two notations we were practicing last week. So standard notation is name hyphen mass number. And it's the same as hyphen notation. And then isotope notation was the atomic symbol, the mass number on the top, and the atomic number on the bottom. So now that we have all of that information, we can start filling these in. So I'm going to do the first two with you. So the first one, we have the mass number and the number of neutrons. So the next thing we should do is subtract those two. So if we subtract mass number minus number of neutrons, we get number of protons. So that's going to be 6. Then that tells us electrons and atomic number, because all three of those columns are going to be the same. Once we have the atomic number, we can go to our periodic table. So here, our atomic number is 6. So we go to our periodic table and we find atomic number 6. That's carbon. So we can write carbon right here. Our periodic table also tells us our atomic mass. So if we look at our little carbon box here, our decimal number, 12.01, we can fit right here. For standard notation, you're going to put the name hyphen mass number. Our mass number was 12. Make sure you use the mass number and not the atomic mass. We don't want any decimals in here. And then isotope notation, we have 12, the symbol, and 6 on the bottom. Okay, so let's do the next one, potassium. Potassium is a little bit easier because we tell you the name right away. So you can look up potassium on the periodic table, and it's going to be right here. And then that tells you your atomic number. Your atomic number is the whole number, so it's number 19. So we can fill in the atomic number. The reason why that's great is because then that tells you your number of protons and your number of electrons, because those three columns have to be the same. Then we can find our mass number, because mass number is protons plus neutrons, so our mass number is 39. Atomic mass comes from the periodic table. The decimal number, 39.10. And then once we've done that, we can plug them into our two notations. So here we're going to have potassium, 39, 39K19. And that's it. So one thing I do want to say is the next two are going to be the same atom. They're just going to be different isotopes of that atom. So don't let that throw you off. You are doing it correctly. I'll also post an answer key so you can check your work. And then also, if you have any questions, we can go over it next class.